Hey everybody, welcome back to Star Flag Media. So clearly, this topic struck a nerve. And I think the real conversation here isn't just Battlefield 6 good or Battlefield 6 bad. Because I don't think that's actually what people are arguing about. What we're seeing right now is a fracture, a split in the Battlefield community. The future versus what's been established, the diehards versus the casuals. Well, so really today I just kind of want to break down why the Battlefield fan base is so divided right now, and more importantly, why it actually matters. Not just for Battlefield 6, but for the future of the franchise, which is really the important thing here, right? Because everybody wants to see competition. Everybody wants this to succeed, this experiment, right? I do, at the very least. So when Battlefield 6 was first teased, people had like one main hope: bring Battlefield back. Bring back the identity, the large scale feel, the weight, the sense of chaos, of teamwork, destruction that made Battlefield Battlefield. And players expected something like a spiritual return to Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4 energy, even a comeback, a we heard you moment. So when Battlefield 6 launched, people didn't just play the game. They went in with emotional baggage. Years of disappointment, hype, fear, nostalgia. And that's where this whole divide starts. Because there are two different groups of player now. There's really two sides to this community. Side one is the people who feel let down. They look at Battlefield 6 and go, this feels directionless. The maps feel small, uninspired. The movement feels like it's chasing a trend, or the destruction isn't impactful anymore. It doesn't feel like Battlefield, right? They're not just criticizing the game, they're kind of mourning what they thought the franchise used to be. And then you have the side that defends the game, right? And they're not defending it blindly. They genuinely, I think, they genuinely like the game. They enjoy the gunplay, the pacing, the polish, the balance, and they're tired of what they see as, constant negativity in the gaming community, to be honest. Like, if Reddit is an echo chamber, it's terrible in there. From their perspective, the game obviously isn't perfect, but it's solid, and they just kind of want to let it breathe. People just want to hate everything now, is their perspective. No Battlefield game ever releases perfect. The updates fix it. Those are, common things you hear. And really, neither side is completely wrong. That's the important part. They're just coming from different emotional places, right? The franchise itself has kind of an identity problem right now. The core issue is Battlefield doesn't know what it wants to be anymore. And this problem didn't start with Battlefield 6. It's been building since Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5, and especially 2042. Every new release feels like DICE is just trying to chase what it used to be. Battle Royale movement systems, hero shooter mechanics, faster, more modern pacing, trends of identities of other shooters. They're trying to copy and paste little bits and pieces of everything that's popular. And that's probably where the disappointment hits hardest for most gamers, right? Because fans didn't want Battlefield to become something else. They wanted Battlefield to become a better version of itself. Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 weren't good because of nostalgia, right? They were good because the maps were designed for combined arms combat, vehicles felt meaningful, the destruction wasn't just visual, it impacted strategy, and the pacing was intentional. Battlefield had weight. It felt like war, not a playground, right? Even though there was some outlandish things happening, it felt more like war. And then Battlefield 6, depending on who you ask right now, either keeps losing that identity or is slowly getting it back. And that's where the divide becomes personal, right? Why does this matter? Well, people aren't just arguing about graphics or guns or maps anymore. They're arguing about what Battlefield actually is, what it stands for, what it feels like, what it means to them. The franchise isn't just a game to a lot of people. It's memories, it's LAN parties, it's friends screaming on voice chats as skyscrapers fall. It's moments that no other first person shooter could create, especially at those times. And when people feel like something they grew up with is fading, well, honestly, they just get defensive. They get emotional, they argue, and not because they're angry, but mostly from what I notice is because they care, right? They they care to a degree where it almost blinds them. And whether you love Battlefield 6 or you hate Battlefield 6, the passion behind the conversation feels real, right? It is real. It's what leads to the real question. And the question is, where does Battlefield go from here? Because the question no longer is Battlefield a good game? It clearly has all the mechanics down. The question now is, what direction is Battlefield heading in? And do you want to go along for the ride? If DICE continues chasing trends, trying to turn Battlefield into whatever is popular this year, the community is going to keep dividing and fracturing, and you'll end up losing the base. But if they choose a direction, any direction, and just commit to it, which is what I said in the previous videos, and people were pretty upset about it, is just drown out the noise, commit to what your vision is. The fan base can then stabilize somewhere in the middle. Yes, you're gonna never please everybody, and you're gonna lose some people on both sides, but you'll get a stable base. Battlefield doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be Battlefield. It just needs to be different itself. When Battlefield has identity, the community unites. And when Battlefield feels confused, then the community divides, right? Right now, Battlefield 6 is the symptom. The identity crisis is the disease, right? So what this all boils down to is whether you're loving Battlefield 6 right now, or you're frustrated by it, or you're somewhere in the middle, you gotta just know this. It's your reaction probably comes from a place of connection, right? And that means that the franchise still matters. And that is a good thing. It's still important enough for people to go out there and buy it and get online and cry about it or praise it or call each other names or leave hateful comments on my YouTube videos. People don't get this emotional over something that they're done with. We're not watching the downfall of Battlefield, contrary to popular beliefs, or even, rightfully so, some of my thumbnails perhaps are titles. We're not really watching the downfall of Battlefield. What we're really watching is the fight for what Battlefield should be. And that's why this conversation matters. So if you've got your own experiences, good or bad, drop it in the comments. Obviously, I'm reading all of it. This debate doesn't have to be toxic, but it is important. The first step to figuring out what Battlefield needs to become next. Where is it headed? As always, I just want to thank you guys for joining me here at Star Flag Media. Leave a like or a dislike. You guys aren't shy about that. And leave a comment below and let me know what you guys thought about this Battlefield 6 divide. Where do you land on it? As always, subscribe if I've earned it. If not, click on one of the other videos. They're going to be the other two videos, probably Battlefield related, and let me know what you guys think in those videos, or read the comments and let them know what you think there. As always, thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.